What's up, Weez? Welcome to a different kind of series that I kind of want to do for certain kind of anime games out here, and you'll figure out the ones I'm talking about when I kind of go into depth of this. But I think I'm going to call this series kind of like what happened or what's wrong. I'm not too sure yet. What you see now is a working title, but I'll probably end up keeping it anyway. But our first game in this that I want to talk about is Black Clover Quartet Nights, and basically what we're talking about is what happened to this game. Because it's one of these games that it's a really big IP. Black Clover is super popular. It's, you know, subjectively, it's pretty good. And the game is actually, you know, fairly fun. You see gameplay in here. It's kind of like, I want to say it's before Naruto Shinobi Strikers. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to check it out right now. But I believe it came out in 2018. It came out the same year. It came out about a few months after Shinobi Strikers, but it is a Shinobi Strikers clone nonetheless, in a way, because it has a lot of the same gameplay mechanics, a lot of the same things you can do in the game, but it was just done poorly, I guess, or it just wasn't supported enough. I don't know why this game didn't thrive like it should have. If you were there when the open beta came out, you'll see a lot of praise for this game because the online aspect of this game was super fun. I mean, it was riding off the coattails of Shinobi Strikers. Shinobi Strikers was a huge hit. It's still being supported today in 2021. Black Clover stopped getting DLC what it looks like April of 2019, which is already 2 years ago. And it sucks because, like I said, Black Clover is a huge IP. It's, you know, pretty good game. Just plays like Shinobi Strikers, but you just play your Black Clover characters. And it's just weird that it failed. It's weird that it just got dropped so quickly for how big of a hit this series is. And I kind of want to discuss kind of maybe certain aspects that probably led to it, and like kind of key points of what maybe happened and what probably we can avoid in the future for another Black Clover game. But like, first things first, for some reason, I don't know if actually, I don't know if Bandai was involved in this game. First, let me figure that out, because, well, my first reason is Bandai is very, and they published the game. They're very, like, nitpicky on what anime games they like to put money into. And if you notice, a lot of times, all the big anime IP games that we get that are hits are either, you know, Dragon Ball or Naruto, and sometimes we'll get an occasional One Piece game that are okay. The One Piece games usually come to okay success. I'll probably talk about some One Piece games in the future, but Black Clover was not on that list for I don't know what reason. Now, the unfortunate part I would say about this game was its release timing. Black Clover debuted in 2017. It got about a year of episodes out, so give or take 52, 55 episodes out before the game released. We didn't get really anywhere in the series for that. Like, there's not a lot that came out for that. So we barely got, you know, things like Black Asta, we got Veto, we got Licked, I think was the farthest character I saw in base game, which is crazy because even if you go to DLC, they barely get to captains. So you barely get people like Fugelion, Marilona. I believe there's a Yami in there somewhere, but then you get like the Wizard King. It's strange how little coverage there is for this game, because like I said, once you get past some of these farther episodes of Black Clover, there's a wide variety of characters, and it's weird that they just dropped it. Like, there didn't seem to be a reason. It's kind of, I mean, I guess the biggest reason would be that the series kind of just ended weirdly, but that's not the worst part. It's just that the game kind of died on release. Like, the beta was like hugely popular. It was very popular in anime fans. It was very good. People really enjoyed it, but then the game dropped and just nobody wanted to pay $60 for it, which makes sense. But the only problem is Bandai is only going to release these games at $60, and it's a problem because it's not helping them in the anime game market. And they know that because the only games that really sell are arena fighters and 2D fighters like Fighters and Xenoverse and Ultimate Ninja Storm. And honestly, Demon Slayer is probably going to be the next biggest anime IP game to come out, because Fighters thrives. It's been supported since 2018, the same year this game came out. Shinobi Strikers is still being supported, came out months before this game. Don't even get me started on Xenoverse 2. That game will be supported till the death of gaming at this point. But it just sucks that this game wasn't supported long enough to get like the really cool characters in here. It wasn't to get all the elves, to get all the devils. Like if we got like Dante and these other like final arc of the end, we got to the end of the anime, quote unquote, it would have been a lot cooler game, because there would have been such a wide variety of characters. It would have been really fun. It didn't have a create a character system, or create a wizard, I guess, to like kind of mix and match moves together, but that's kind of fine because it was playing more. Its character select system was more like a MOBA than anything, but it still played and had game modes like Shinobi Striker, like, you know, zone control and crystal carry, which was I believe it's like capture the flag or something, or a defense game. But it's just, it sucks to see games like this that could have really thrived in something, could have really blown up and could have really been good. Honestly, it could have been really good for Bandai, because that's another IP that they could have just been marketing games after games, or even DLCs after DLCs. They could have just left Quartet Night as it is and just marketed DLCs and balanced the game and just keep updating it, and it could have lasted for a while. It could have been here with Shinobi Strikers in its longevity, but for some reason they just decided to drop it, and it's an unfortunate thing that happens with a lot of anime games, and you see it a lot with IPs that are not Dragon Ball or Naruto. And it's kind of unfortunate, because the way those games thrive, it kind of shows Bandai that it's really the only thing people are interested in. Hopefully Demon Slayer kind of helps with the way, with how hugely popular Demon Slayer is. Hopefully it'll show them that people are interested in other anime IPs, because even One Punch Man, look at One Punch Man. I think that game got server service for like 2 or 3 years and it's already shut down. It sucks. It sucks a lot, but I would like to see some of these other anime games, these other anime titles and series actually get decent games. Like, to be 100% fair, Black Clover Quartet Nights is a decent game to play if you have, you know, obviously if you have friends, it's gonna make it more fun. But even in like a just a daily game, or just like a casual laid back situation, it's a fun game to just kick on. It's not that bad. I just don't know why they decided to just dead it. They just killed the game and they just took their hands off it. And the worst part too is, you know, they're gonna continue doing this. They're gonna put out these, you know, kind of smaller, I want to say smaller, but they're not as small, but smaller IPs. I saw there's a Little Witch Academia game. That's strange. They're going to put out the one that intrigues me the most is One Piece. They put out these One Piece games the most, but they put them, it's the same formula. It's these Dynasty Warriors, big fighter arena. I'm kind of getting off topic, but it's kind of going into the rest of the series. But they put out these strange games and like so out there. Like, who's playing Dynasty Warrior games 24/7? Who's playing, you know, open world games for years to come? I mean, look at GTA. It could work. It could work. But it just goes to show that, like, when you market a game at $60, it's gonna hurt its longevity at the same time, because one, you're taking a big risk paying the 60, now with PS5, $70 to $80 for a new title, for a new series that you don't know if it's gonna survive, you know, the year, the month. For Black Clover, the day, because Black Clover basically released dead. And it sucks because you have to find discords and communities, and very small communities, because Shinobi Strikers has, you know, plenty of communities that you can go to and just find games and find people to play with, but Black Clover doesn't have much. And it sucks because, like I said, with how big the series is, as much as people like don't like Black Clover, you can't knock that it's a big series. It sells, it has weight to its name. So this game should have had some weight to it. But I think the problem with it was they did not give enough time for the anime to actually flourish. 52 episodes into Black Clover, not a lot happens. Not a lot happens. I think you barely start the Elf arc. I think you're barely getting out of the Wizard, like tuning exams arc. I don't even remember what it's called, but you're like in the cave fighting Veto with Asta at that point. I think that's where you are in the 50-ish episodes that you get to play, get to watch before Quartet 9 came out. If they at least waited until maybe Black Asta debuted, or they waited for Black Clover to peak somewhere, because let's be honest, Black Clover didn't peak until it was at least over a year out. Black Clover wasn't peaking maybe until 2019, maybe. If they released this game maybe in like late 2019, maybe early 2020, when a lot more episodes came out, when it shot up a lot more in popularity, I think it would have been fine. It would have been fine. It actually would have had some help in the game. But unfortunately, that's not what they decided to do. They decided to throw this game out to the wolves and put it next to people like Shinobi Strikers, and Fighters came out that year. And Xenoverse is like one of the most popular arena fighters now, next to Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. And it's just, Bandai made it very tough for them to put out new IPs when they have these huge hitters that sell, you know, millions of copies. Look at Xenoverse, it's like over 10 million copies, I believe. Fighters is over 5 or 6. And I'm sure Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 and Shinobi Strikers have sold their fair share of copies. And it's just a strange thing to put so much like backbone into these games and not try to push out new IPs. And they can even work as the same, you know, mechanics. I mean, look at Quartet Knights right now. It plays just like Shinobi Strikers, but it got no love. And I think that's the exact problem, was just the release timing. And I think that's what happened to this game. It was a failure on Bandai's part to not kind of read the room on how popular the series was. And I think that's the biggest problem they do. So I think Demon Slayer is going to do a little bit better because it's coming out pretty much within the time frame of Season 2 launching. So that's fine. But it's just, I wish they would do better. I wish they'd do better. But if you guys like this new series, let me know what other anime games you think could have been really good if they just tweaked some things, they changed some things, or if they just flopped on release. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think I should do next. I have a couple in mind that I want to do, but I have to play them first. I have to actually, you know, get my hands on them first. But if you guys did enjoy the video, if you guys enjoyed this new series, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.